My name is Steven Salmon. I've been going to South for about 4 months now. I'm a journeyman electrician. I've been doing that since I was 16 years old. When I was like 12 or 13, I went to live with my mom for a year. And she's very, very much into the church, very involved with it. And I became very involved with it, and I loved it. And Christ was a big part of my life. And then I moved back to Colorado, and I started doing electrical, and graduated high school, and after that I turned away from the church for about 10 years, and just focused on the things that my dad always taught me to focus on. Do your job. I kept thinking that the more I achieved and the more I did, the better I'd feel about my life. And so I became the youngest journeyman at the company, and then I became the youngest foreman at the company, and every time I accomplished something, I felt worse. I felt worse every time. And I realized what I was doing wasn't working. I was starting to drink drink a lot, party, do all the things that, people say are normal and fun. And, it'd always be Friday or Saturday night, and every Saturday or Sunday morning I'd wake up and I was never proud of the man that I was. And I just started disliking myself more and more and more. And just started to spiral. I was working at Littleton Adventist Hospital, working on their new cancer treatment center, and kept driving by South every day on the way to work. And it was weird. I just kept getting this pull. I don't know what made me look to the left when I was driving down Broadway or anything. I just would look, and just a little voice like, "Try it, just check it out." And I drove by it for about 2 months before I grabbed my buddy and I was like, "All right, dude, let's try this church out. Let's go to church." And so came to church, and then I heard about the summit, went to the summit, and that night Ryan was teaching out of Isaiah. He was teaching about when the Israelites had to cross the Jordan. As he started talking about how the priest's feet had to touch the water before God would stop the flow. They had to have that little act of faith and step in and start before God halted it and allowed everybody to pass. And he started talking about what was stopping us in our life from doing that, from taking a step forward. And he mentioned fear, and just instantly, boom, everything kind of came to a head at that point, and I realized why I'd been so angry and why I'd been so, irresponsible and doing everything that I wanted to do, and why I'd focused so hard on my career and everything like that is because I was scared. And I was insecure, and most people that know me, that would blow them out of the water if I told them I was scared of something or that I was insecure, because I've always been the big, bad, step out front, boastful, cocky, that kind of guy, and I always knew that was kind of a front, but that moment I realized just how false my entire existence was becoming. I was shaking in there. As soon as Ryan finished his sermon, I just grabbed him, and he didn't know me. And, he stopped what he was doing. We talked for about half an hour. At that point, that was the first time in my life I'd told anybody about that, and about the fear and the insecurity and how I didn't like the life I was living, and I didn't know what to do and this and that. And, it was one of those moments where, the first time you say something like that, it freaks you out. It freaks you out to realize it. Life's been a lot different since that night. It's been a lot different. I'm not afraid anymore. It's made me realize I'm not alone. It's not just me against the world. I have Jesus at my back. I have South at my back. I have all the people at the summit at my back, and I'm just not afraid. And now that fear's gone, the anger's gone. 6 months ago, I was a guy say something I didn't like, and pretty much any words could become fighting words. It doesn't bother me anymore. Every problem used to be my problem, and everything had to be a problem. If it was something I didn't see coming, it was a problem, and it was mine, and I was going to get pissed, and I was going to fix it, or knock out whoever presented the problem, one of the two. And just my interactions with people is different. I'm way less aggressive than I used to be. Not everything has to be a battle, and it's okay to be open to what other people have to say. This doesn't make you weak. Stopping, turning to Christ, turning to a friend, a pastor, I need help, and then letting Christ come into your life and change it does not make you weak. We're not designed to be that strong. We're just not. We're flawed. You know, and there's only one person who is that strong. You know, that's Jesus Christ, and it's okay. It's okay to submit. It's okay to say, all right, I give up. What do you want me to do? Yeah, conventional wisdom says you want to be a strong man, you got to take the load all the time. Now, you know, sometimes you got to take the load, you know, of your family or your friends or whatever, but you don't have to carry it by yourself. You don't.